And that's the recipe for warp drive. Oh shit, look, you guys are here. Haha, what's up? Oh shit, there says there's an error occurred. What the fuck's going on? Oh, okay. All right, supposedly there was an error on Facebook. All right, well, hopefully it comes back. We'll see what happens. Anyways, we're here. Holy shit, what's going on? I tried to start with a joke and then immediately I find out that there's issues. Hopefully it gets on there. Wendy, can you tell me if we're live on Facebook? In the meantime, I'm going to go and check Facebook right now. Do my normal setup. Yeah, I don't think I am live on Facebook. Nope, might have to send people to YouTube. Shit, what the hell is going on with this thing? And now I don't even know how to. Some destinations won't. Some of your destinations have errors. What? What the hell? Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure it out. Let me see if you're on YouTube. Huh, that's really go live. Come on, baby. Sorry, I know this is like the most boring beginning. Yay! I believe it worked. and now I've got chats and maybe I'm gonna keep going, but yeah. All right, guys, we're on Facebook. Holy shit, what the fuck was all that? I'm on YouTube. Great. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go to Facebook then and check everything out, make sure it's all good. Oh, that was some drama. That's what I needed. Yeah, here we go. Okay, good. We're set to go. Let me make sure the privacy is good. Bam. Yep. So now we should be getting chat and whatnot from everybody. Guys, if you're on there, yep. Brian Manel's there. Cool. This is like a well-oiled machine that's broken down and not oiled well at all. So good to see you guys. Good. Now we've got numbers more like what I'm used to getting. Fantastic. We have some. Hey, what's going on, Paul? So good to see you. Dude, we've got another great show tonight. I've got two really cool dudes. I've got Tony Klapper in the house of 5-star fame. Very excited to hang out with him. He and I have been on a couple of online panels together, but we never really got to like sit and chat and learn about each other. So that's cool. Numbers equals 2. I also have Facebook, you bastard. So it's 3. And then we've got my dude Fish Lee, who I'm really excited to hang out with. I've started working with him. We started working with one another, and just a solid dude. So I think tonight is going to be an absolutely great show. And after all the bullshit of the beginning here and just everything that's been, let's just jump in on this thing and make it happen. You guys know exactly what time it is.
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's Shop Talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool, then I'm going to keep saying fuck, because I care.
What's up?
You guys see, isn't that how you want to enter a panel, just like that?
Bam! There you are.
Yeah.
There he is.
Nice.
He knows what's up. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing real good. I've got an amazing show going on. 2 awesome dudes. So excited. We've got here. Let's do this. There we go. Because I did book Tony first, to be fair. And then we decided, dude, we got to get Mr. Fish on here.
For sure.
Actually, speaking of Mr. Fish, before we go any further, before we talk about 5-star, I was looking at your comics, and I believe you have the Mr. Fish logo, and it's like your head and whatnot.
My head?
Is it your head or?
No, I've got one with like a skeleton fish on it that I've been using lately.
it looked like there was a picture of you or something, like an animated picture of you. And I was
Now
like,
I do have one floating around as like my icon on a lot of things, so that could be it.
okay,
Yeah.
that must be it. Because I was looking at that and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, it's always nice to have that, but that guy's got too much hair to be you. And I don't
It's
think
an
his
older
beard.
picture.
His
It's
beard
an older
is
picture. Like
Oh.
I used to do a cartoon specifically about having Tourette syndrome, Tourette's life, and the version of me in that still had like just the Abraham Lincoln chin strap beard and had a lot longer hair at the time. I mean, it's still short, but so like that version of me is still around in a whole lot of cartoons and images and stuff floating around that doesn't really look like me much anymore since I grew the beard out and got it long and
right.
yeah.
Speaking of that, we've got a really good beard day going on. All three of
yeah,
us.
Yeah.
This is a
absolutely.
very good beard panel. I think I want to make a panel best of beards in comics and just get like a bunch of dudes with really good
Oh,
beards.
there's some good. Who is it? I think his name's Chris. He's always taking pictures. Has to pull his beard up.
Chris
to take a
Mad?
picture.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he
yeah.
drives me nuts because my beard only gets like maybe an inch longer than this. And when I started growing it, I was like, oh man, I'm growing it so long. I'm gonna be like Paul Bunyan's dudes and have to tuck it in my pants when I go to work so I don't trip on it. It got this long and stopped. And he's sitting here whipping his big old granddaddy whiskers out of the. Oh, I'm so jealous.
Mine is so wiry that it basically gets to a point and then it starts wiring back up again. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, yeah, like this side wants to like curl up and be short.
I just put a picture on there of one that Fish recently drew of himself. Share that screen. Here you go.
Let's do this.
There's one.
Oh, dude, yeah.
There's for our 5-Star Fridays. That's the one.
There's Mr. 5-Star and the mountainous Mr. Fish in the background.
Yeah.
That's so good. What's up, Sam? Good to see you, dude. Oh, dude, I love that. That's really good.
Fish is a monster.
Yeah, I loved it. I love that picture. I guess it was you shared it about us being on the show. It's a selfie me and Tony took, but all you see is my chest because I'm so much taller than Tony.
We're.
I
laughed so hard when I saw that.
I was like, I gotta get him in somehow, so I put your chest in.
Yeah,
dude.
Like,
every picture you guys take, even when you're in the, I got a picture of you guys in the car. You're always one. You're way over him, and he's.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
he towers over me.
Like I'm 15 inches taller than my wife, and I took one selfie where you could like just see the top of her head at the bottom.
How tall are you, Tony?
I'm 6'4".
I'm
Tony,
5'4".
I don't know.
You're what?
5'5".
5'5". Okay, I'm like 5'7", 5'8". So yeah. No, I feel you, man. It's funny because I can't tell you how many people I go and meet, and I'm like, "What's up?" Like I feel like a kid, and I'm like,
"Yeah." Fish is the only person I've ever. We got a hotel room when we went to FSK Day, and like his feet was hanging off the bed. Like at the end of the bed, his feet was hanging off.
Absolutely. Like the rare time I have been to a hotel that had like crazy long beds and my feet wouldn't hang off the end, I had to actually scoot down the bed so they did because I don't know how to sleep with my feet in the bed. Like I have never since I was a kid had a bed long enough that fit me. So like that's how I sleep is with my feet hanging off the end.
So we got this. Brian Manel says best beards of fictional characters in comics.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? So one I would like to mention as an honorable mention because it's not technically a beard. Kyron, good to see you, homie. Always
up,
good
man?
to see you.
Kyron, hope you're feeling better, man. I know you was feeling under the weather a couple days ago.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're doing good, dude. Much love to Kyron. Wolverine's mutton chops. I know it's not a beard, but at least deserves to be mentioned.
Iconic. It's iconic.
Absolutely.
But I'm like.
Like I have been thinking more and more as I'm drawing beards now, like now that I have a longer beard and I'm paying a lot more attention to other people's beards now that I've grown mine out long, like I draw them completely differently than I used to. Like when I used to draw them, it was always like Tony's, and it was nice and straight, and But now I realize not everybody's beard's like that. So some people got to have the curly ones, and some people got to have the wild ones, and some people got the neat and trimmed, and it's been very fun. I've really enjoyed it.
I think when Superman grows out a beard, it looks pretty. It's always pretty nice. He always rocks the nice bearded look when he does grow one out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Magneto had a good beard.
Oh yeah. Oh man, Magneto looked tight with that beard and all the white and still rippling with muscles somehow for being as old as he is.
That's so true. Yeah, no, I love him in a beard actually.
Green Arrow. Now, does that count as a beard? I mean, it's facial hair.
If we're at least going to talk about the mutton chops, we can give a nod to his little goatee thing.
Like it's not like a Van Dyke. It's that takes a lot of work. Like that is way up there on the primping scale. Like that's taking sculpting waxes and all kinds of stuff to.
Well, but speaking of that, isn't there like one of the I don't know if it's Balger or who it is, but one of the guys from Thor has like the long bushy beard and then that big like hair curls that come up the side.
Oh yeah. I can't think of who.
My thing is like, okay, Oliver Queen, how are you going to have such significant facial hair, like so out there compared to anybody else on the street, and try and hide your identity as a superhero? Like me and you walking around with big long beards, like lots of hipsters have beards. We could blend in, perhaps. Like if we dove into a Comic-Con, we would disappear in a sea of fat dudes with beards. But like, when you've got this print curved thing, like you're not pulling off the Tony Stark, shaped beard and then just disappearing into a crowd and be like, oh, hey, that wasn't him. I don't buy
it. That's like Superman with the fucking hair curl thing.
Well, as long as you pull that curl back and brush it in, it'll be fine.
Kyron's still trying to get better. Good, man. We hope you do. Hopefully some laughs tonight and a good chat will make you feel better. Santa's beard.
Hey, there we go. Kyron's right with that. It counts.
You can't beat Santa, yeah, he's been in more than enough comics. I'd give it up. Okay, so fuck beards, fuck that shit. It's time to get on to you guys. So, can you guys each tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you're doing in comics? So, you know what? We'll start with Fish.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I am Mr. Fish from Mr. Fish Comics. I illustrate all kinds of books. I'm looking around my wall here at all the books that I've done. I illustrate 5-star. Yeah, well, I've got like every book I've done that's come out yet is up on the walls.
I like to say
that's right. So I get distracted. I illustrate 5-star for Tony. I literally have my camera in front of Chuck so that when I look at Chuck, I'm looking into the camera. I illustrate 5-star for Tony and FSK. I illustrate the Sentinels for Roy Johnson at Standard Comics. I illustrate Power Company for the guys over there, which is like a indie-verse Justice League where they all come from their separate universes and come together to help fight, menaces to the multiverse. And I also did my own book, T-Man and Hyperstrike, a few years back, and about a superhero team with Tourette syndrome and ADHD like me. And that was a huge success. I actually got so busy after I did that one, I haven't been able to do any other books because I've been doing everybody else's books. But I do have a book coming out soon after Tony's book, after 5-star, which is out at Kickstarter right now.
Yeah.
In April, coming out through the same publisher, FSK, I got Green Zone coming out, which Chuck helped me edit, and I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no, dude, I love that book. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna. This is my pitch, but I'm obviously more interested in hearing yours. But my pitch would be like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets Police Academy.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, kind of, yeah, that was not a terrible fit.
That's not bad, right?
Yeah.
I usually get more like Training Day or something as opposed to like Police Academy. But
Training Day's so serious, though. Like,
yeah.
This is like not as much.
It's an interesting world. It takes place in a world where anybody can be born with superpowers. Anybody can be born a genome that has a genetic anomaly. And that could be anywhere from shooting fireballs to like having scales and spikes or horns or whatever. It could be anything. So after some bad events, after some bad characters, and if you're being mistreated and you're having a rough life and you got superpowers, you're liable to knock off a bank or two. Like, things happen. And after a few bad events, people basically come to look at genomes as supervillains waiting to happen. And you're a bad guy until you prove you're not. So they passed a law that basically when you're found out to be a genome, you lose your rights, you lose your citizenship. And if you want to earn those things back and get your green card, then you have to serve the public good for 5 years. And that can either be like in the military, the police, fire department, whatever. And so this is following a group of new recruits on the police force on their first day on shift and seeing, if they make it, what's life like, how hard is this? And you get to see how ugly it is. You get to see how tough it is. You get to see how the deck's stacked against them from the get-go. It's a lot of fun. And I'm really excited about the stories that we get to tell in it. Like when me and Tony were going to FSK Day in Columbus recently, we spent the whole trip there like talking out story ideas and like, oh, if we did this and oh, that could lead to this and oh, if we base this on this dude, then that gives him so much deeper character. And it was so much fun. Yeah. I'm so excited for what's coming from that.
Dude. Well, and that leads perfectly into Mr. 5-Star himself. Tony, what's up? Tell us about yourself.
Just piggybacking off of that, I'm excited for Green Zone as well. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there now since we was just freshly talking about that.
Absolutely. 100%.
Green Zone is a super dope project that I can't wait to just dive into the world. And like Fish was saying, you can't help but if you're a creator, you can't help but to want to create stories in that world because he's just laid it out so beautifully to do so. So definitely check that out in April. Now, to myself, talking about moi, I am Tony Klapper, a.k.a. Mr. 5-Star.
That ass Klapper!
Yeah. I am the writer and creator of the 5-Star series. I'm a writer on board with FSK, Freestyle Comics, and I am co-host with this guy, on the podcast 5-Star Fridays that we do every Friday night. Not as much as Fish, not rocking out as many books as my guy, but I got some projects in the works.
Well, so you were talking about Green Zone. I have to say one of the things that I'm so excited about with that book, because obviously I've been on since very early on. One of the things I'm most excited about is, Freestyle Comics. You guys got Mike Watson has a pretty fucking cool group of people there. There's a bunch of that's a cool kids group kind of. And so I was like, damn, I gotta be able to get in there somehow. And Green Zone puts me into the Freestyle Comics family, which I'm very excited to.
Kids, man.
There you go.
Right? When you told me you were going with Freestyle, I was like, oh, dude, good for you. Like a lot of times someone will say like, I'm going with this. And I'll be like, did you really think about that decision? Are you sure that's what you want to do?
Right.
Well, look, you're a client and a friend. I gotta be honest. Here's some shit. But when Fish said, dude, I think we're gonna take it to Freestyle, I was like, that's fucking cool. That's a really good move. I like that. Like I was very on board with that.
And that's all thanks to Tony, because like me and Tony have been friends for a while. We did an issue of 5-Star quite a while back. It was one of the first books I actually worked on. And we've been friends ever since. And him and Mike have been friends. And then, Freestyle starts bringing in new people. Tony joins up and we're talking about it and I'm watching him. I got to meet Mike through him. I got to meet Mike through the show that we do together. Yeah. And I got to meet all these other awesome creators like Lori Foster at Unlikely Heroes Studios and Charlie McElvey. And then, and I love Spider Squirrel, dude. That is one of my favorite indie books that's come out recently. It's so much fun. And then as I'm getting to know Mike better through Tony, I see Mike starting to bring in all these people that I respect. Like he signs Charlie to come in and bring Spider Squirrel under FSK, and then he brings Lori in, in business administration or whatever, is as part of FSK too. And I'm like, okay, I not only like this dude, but he's making smart choices and he's bringing talented, clever people into his circle. And I'm like, I respect the choices that he's making, especially like I got to read a lot of the Unlikely Hero Studios books through Lori, and I was like, everything she's touched is just gold. And bringing her in is a smart choice. So I was like, okay, yeah, this is something I want to pay attention to. And so, yeah.
I happened to be at a con with Mike, and I'm like, yo, look, Fish's book is the shit, all right? And I'm like trying to lay it out, and I'm showing it to him like, Fish, you got to send Mike the book. And even Danny Cooper, he says, like, Tony was pitching this book for you, bro. Because I'm like, yo, Fish mentioned something about, possibly wanting, somebody to take that part out of his hands. And what better place? I mean, you're already working with me on 5-Star. You're on the show. We're mingling with all the same people. And really, FSK just feels like a giant family. And if anything, I know for me personally, and I would say Fish probably agrees, FSK Day just really solidified that when we were all there together in person and kicking it and just carpooling. And, it really felt like we were really a part of something big. And I'm excited to see where we are a year from now.
Oh, yeah.
We got a busy, crazy schedule this year. We're dropping all kinds of books. And I'm excited
so many awesome books coming out.
Where we are at this time next year, for sure.
Oh, yeah. It was so much fun getting to hang out with everybody in person, getting to like do some of these panel discussions with people like actually in the room and not have to worry about like delays and stuff on video chats. And it was so much fun. And we just had a ball and getting to get some real FaceTime with these people. But, and that's another thing that means a lot to me because Tony was out there pitching my book for me, trying to get a good in with these guys. And Tony's a good guy to have in your corner. Absolutely. I really appreciate
obviously,
that.
Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a question actually from the audience for Mr. Fish from my good buddy. You know what? He is my Mr. Fish. This is Douglas Brown. He has a comic called Stormy, and he and I do shows together all the time. We hang out, and I edit his book and whatnot. So we're really tight. So yeah, he would be my Mr. Fish. Amazing artist. He says, Mr. Fish, how do you time manage working on so many books? Do you devote a specific day per title, or do you devote a couple hours per title each day?
Oh,
can I answer part of this, Fish, real quick?
Yeah, go nuts.
It helps that he's the fastest pencil in the indie comic. So that is a disclaimer. Dude is like Wild Wild West fast with the pencil, okay? So that helps. Yeah. So get that out there before he even starts to answer like, it's because dude's like lightning fast. That's how he gets a lot done.
I actually can play off of that because when we were going off of the original Green Zone stuff and he all of a sudden had pages out and I'm like, whoa, like, we're still editing this motherfucker. And he's like, no, don't worry, man. These are just quick sketches. And I was like, whoa, okay, I'm just, I don't want you to do shit over. He's like, it's no big deal. I'm fine. I got this. And
it's funny because the first Friday, first ever 5-Star Fridays podcast, he was actually the guest. And he's talking like, I just love to get my book out. And he tells me about it. And I'm like, dude, F that. Start that book, bro. It was in February. So if you think about that, a year's coming up. Just think about how much he's already got done with that. But I'm like,
and I had that 95% of it done like by the end of the month. Like I just started working on it and just knocked it out quick. If me and my wife hadn't have gotten sick, it would have been the first 2 issues would be finished right now. But we got sick of it.
Sentinels, 5-Star, all this other stuff. So it's like that night, I'm sitting after the show. I'm sitting there like, man, it was a pretty good first show. I'm feeling, and this dude sends me like 7 pages, like, you inspired me. Here you go. That quick.
So yeah, that's part of what helps. Being fast helps. The fact that I'm a one-man show actually helps me a lot because like I don't have to get my pencils tight enough for somebody else to ink them. So I just have to get it roughed in enough that I know where to put the face and where to put the body. And as long as I know the characters well, like the last issue of Sentinels, I got the whole book done in 12 working days. But like my pencils are like rough outlines of figures and like a cross on the face to show where the eyes are. But like I know how to draw Ultraman and Grim Reaper. I've drawn them enough now that I don't need to lay stuff out. I just draw them. And so that helps. The other thing is it's my full-time job. So it's all I do all day, which helps. I don't know how anybody does this and has a job and has a wife and has kids and does Cub Scouts. And like, I could not do that. I don't know how they do it. And B, I have a real hard time with my brain, like with my ADHD and the Tourette's and everything. Like I'm real good at getting hyper focused on something, and I can get on that train to the point that I forget that the rest of the world exists, and I can work for like 12, 16 hours sometimes and
Right.
forget that anything else is going on. Like I will scream when somebody walks in the room because I forgot other people exist. Like I forget other people live in the house and they startle the hell out of me when they come in the room. Like
That's hilarious.
it has its bonuses. Like I can get hyper focused on something, but in that it's really hard for me to jump tracks to a different track and get on a different book. Like I know artists that will do like pencil 3 pages of this book and ink 2 pages of this book in a day. I could not do that. Like I've got to work on one thing if I can. And it's hard on me. Like if I send pages, like say I send a bunch of 5-star pages to Tony and I'm waiting to hear back from him and I got time to kill, I might start working on a pinup for somebody to fill that gap in so I'm not just twiddling my thumbs. But it's hard for me to get my brain switched over from 5-star onto what this pinup is and make it's so much easier if I can just plow through one thing. And I've got my system down now, and now that I'm using a flatter, she helps speed me up. So man, I'm getting through stuff a lot faster than I used to. But
Sweet.
yeah, I'm one project and stick to it as best I can.
Nice.
Yep.
Brian announces, "Damn, I love spitballing / brainstorming story ideas with people."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
It's definitely different. It's no feeling like that when you're able to
Right.
get with like-minded creators and get to a point to where you build a relationship with. So one of the best things about 5-star is the fact that me and Fish's relationship is so tight that like we're not hating on one another's ideas. We're not like, nah, that's a good idea, but this is better. We're able to, for one, listen to one another's thoughts and be like, okay, yeah, that does make sense. And he's not. I don't take it like he's insulting me as a writer. He doesn't take it like I'm insulting him as an artist. We're able to just take feedback from one another, and it just makes the best outcome for the book all around. So,
oh yeah, and like
there's
I'll
definitely
like
nothing-
I'll throw an idea out. You can take it or not take it. Like it ain't gonna hurt my feelings.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
or I'll make a suggestion of what if we did this. If Tony says no, then it's no because it's his book. He knows the character inside and out.
Yeah.
I'm just playing with him and having fun. But when we do get along and our imaginations are going in the same direction and we on that same kind of mental track, it makes things run so much faster and smoother. And we're like, oh, well, what if we did this? Oh, and if we did that? And then, you start getting excited. The next thing you know, the book gets way cool.
yeah.
We had this Doug Brown who had a question earlier. He and I decided we were going to do this crazy idea where, and actually I have to send him the script again, where we would try to make a comic, a 5-page comic on our drive to Seattle. Now, he didn't really get to do any of the art, but he did end up doing like while we were hanging out at the house, he ended up doing some layouts, and I think he ended up doing some quick concepts of the main character and stuff. But we were just doing like a fun fucking 5-page like jungle anthology thing, just having some fun. And we came up with a really fucking fun story, like just like this kind of, I don't know, this political but not political funny story, you know what I mean? Like it just, I don't know, it was just really silly and fun, but it's so cool to have that. Like even I was hanging out with Henri Compan, and he and I would go downstairs at the end of a long day. We'd have a smoke, and then we'd just fucking talk. And because we're both on a book of his called War Lion, and it would go forever. It's just, yeah, Brian. There's no feeling like it. It's amazing.
Yeah, for
Oh
sure.
man, having other creators that get it, that are on the same wavelength and stuff, and like are as invested in this stuff as you are, and have quality ideas. Like I spent my whole life looking for a tribe of people that I could talk this stuff out with, and
We did have that conversation.
being able to have this caliber of people that you can talk ideas with, and not people that are just throwing out stupid ideas, or like,
Yeah.
well, I remember on the Super Friends. I don't care what happened on the Super Friends. I'm trying to make something really cool and deep, But having friends like this that you can talk with is the best, and bounce ideas off of each other. Like we just helped out a friend of ours, Eric Bennett. Me and Tony sat down in a room with him like this and video chatted for like an hour or something, and just helped talk out the next script for Power Company to just help. Like he knew what he wanted to happen, but trying to figure out how we're going to place that and what's going to happen and what gets us from one step to the next in the best way. And it was fun. And, we tossed out all kinds of ideas, and some of them led to new ideas, and it was fun, man.
Doesn't Power Company have a lot of other characters from other people's stables?
Oh yeah.
Is
Actually,
5-Star in that?
5-Star was
He
in issue
was.
1 and 2. Yeah, he was a part of issue 1 and 2, and then I decided just to kind of go my separate ways. It wasn't anything bad blood or anything. It was just too much on my plate at the time. So what's cool about that though is it's multiple creators that join in on that project, but with the core group that they have, they take turns writing 2 issues. So Carlos, Raphael drew issue 1 and 2, or
He wrote issue 1 and 2.
issue 1 and 2, and now Eric Bennett's doing 3 and 4. So they take turns, they rotate. I think Roy Johnson's doing the next 2 issues, so that way it kind of just balances out as fair for everybody to kind of get their story in that they want to do. So it is a project, and I was happy to be a part of issue 1 and 2 for sure.
That's cool.
It's a fun project, and with them pulling characters from out like the multiverse of indie comics, like the slate can change if it needs to, or if somebody else wants to join in, then they possibly could, and we might need to pull them out for this threat that's coming. It's a lot of fun. I got to make up a monster for the last issue that was so much fun. They wanted some kind of giant Kirby-esque monster, so I created the Kirbeast that is like a compilation of all these different parts of Kirby monsters throughout history combined into one giant monstrosity. It was so much fun to do. And then I had to write like a backstory for him and a history and stuff for like the handbook to explain where he came from. And that was so much fun to write, man. I loved it.
Speaking of Power Company 1 and 2, you can actually get both of those digital comics right now on the 5-Star
along
Kickstarter.
With 12 others for a total of 14 comics.
14 digital books for $1 right now on the 5-Star Kickstarter. So that's at fskgo.com. We have tons of stuff on there. The Kickstarter is currently going. We have our goal is 4,000. We're currently at $3,059 with 7 days now left to go. 98 backers. So we need a little bit more push.
Oh, so guys,
yeah.
By the end of this, I want us to be at 100 backers. So you guys out there, go check out fskgo.com. I want to see that's 2 backers. All right. And when they have for $1, you can get 14 books. I think 2 of us.
I can count. I promise. I'm like 3. After I just said 98, I was looking at the 7 days left. So yes.
So let's make that happen, guys. Go check that. I'd love to hear from Tony later on that we broke the 100. Sure. So let's do that. Dude, and it's a great book. We're going to talk about it in just a minute. Sam did say though, he said, "Mr. Fish Comics, do you prefer penciling or inking?"
It's funny. I used to absolutely hate inking. I love the pencil. I love the drawing it and the telling the stories. I hated the inking because there's so much potential to screw it up. But I didn't have anybody else to do it, so I had to learn how to do it. and now the inking is my favorite part because it's where I do most of my drawing. I used to hate coloring, and I still like when somebody like Tony hires me for a book, I keep waiting for him to say, wait a minute, you're not a colorist, and take part of that money back. But they keep paying me to color it, so I keep doing it. Like, you had me color a cover for you, and I'm like, okay. I still in my head don't think I can color, but
He's Mr. Humble.
I'm getting paid for it, so I must be able to do something.
We just got hit by a spam bot. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. You're gone.
Oh, I have created a new WhatsApp group for people who want hot sexes. Why do you not click suspicious link? Yes? Look at my boobies and click this link. There's no virus. No.
Right.
That's so fucking funny. The name of the Kickstarter is Kevin Terry is 5-star.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. You can
Kevin
also go
Terry
to
is
FSK.
5-star. But FSK Go will take you right there.
FSK Go will take you right there. Yeah.
Do you guys have any witches in your story? I believe his wife loves witches.
I do not in 5-star, not at the moment. We can eventually add some witches in there.
Not yet,
but you never know.
But this is
Company,
the first issue origin story, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, thank you. He's back at number 99. Shout outs to Mike.
Yeah.
Way to go, Mike. Thank you.
Appreciate
One
it.
That's
more,
a boy.
guys.
We all want to be like Mike. Every one of y'all in the
like Mike
in the comments wants to be like Mike. I'm telling you. All right, Trish, way to go. Thank you.
There we are, guys.
Hats
Just like
off.
that.
Thank you.
Good job. So now that people have started backing it, why don't we talk about it?
Let's do it.
So tell us about 5-star.
I actually also have the video. If you share the screen, if that's up to you, if you want to.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it's a good video.
I can show the.
I'm in it too. If you look carefully, I'm cowering in fear in the foreground.
Yeah. Fish likes to sneak himself in the books, and that's cool. I dig it.
The 5-star is the first issue my wife's in. She's real proud of that. Woo, that's some good video, son.
Yeah.
That was badass. That was really bad. And remember when I was talking about Freestyle Comics being the cool kids? And that fucking Freestyle Comics startup is totally a cool kid thing. Like, that's fucking, it's sweet, man.
Oh, it's dope. I get to sing into that thing and bop into it every Friday on the show. I was like, dude, you have got to mute my mic before the show comes on, because between that and between his song and stuff for 5-star, I'm bopping along every time. That video was so cool, though. Tony hits me up. He's like, hey, Mike needs you to put all the pages in this Google Drive, but without the lettering. I was like, what on earth do they need the colored pages for without the lettering? That's what they needed it for, making an awesome video.
Yeah. And Mike totally killed that video, man. And you guys know anything that Michael Watson does, he does it to where it's going to look good. He doesn't play around with that. Yeah. And to me, I got like total 90s cartoons vibe from that video. So I love that. I love the way he did the video. And yeah, it just captures the beautiful art that Fish Lee did. You know, Fish Lee did his thing.
Oh, yeah. And it came out nice. And it gives you a real feel for the action in the book and the power that 5-star has. And kind of makes him look menacing, too, which I love. You know, because we, as the viewer, as the reader, have to figure out, you know, who is this dude and what's going on. And is he a good guy or a bad guy in the beginning? And like, it's it's interesting. I love it.
Well, and that's a really good way to segue into it. Tell us about Five Star, like Kevin Terry. What can we know going into this?
Yeah, Fish, I know it's my project, but Fish gives this. Look, this is how good I am with just sharing the rock. Fish is good at the pitches. Okay, this dude is elevator pitch. So I'm gonna let Fish give him the pitch, bro, because I personally love when you do it. If you're
See,
okay,
part of this comes from just the number of cons and stuff, and I love the whole carnival Barker aspect of it. The whole, hey, you look like you need to check out a new comic book. Why don't you come over here? And I enjoy that part of it. So okay, Kevin Terry was an awesome dude before all this started. All right, Kevin Terry is one of those guys that's invested in his community. He's trying to make a difference. He's trying to save the troubled youth. This was that awesome stand-up dude that's trying to make a difference in a community that doesn't always necessarily appreciate you being there trying to make that difference. Yeah. And then he gets struck with this horrible cancer. He gets to that point where he's just like, all right, this is it. This is my ticket. I'm gone. His body's withering away. And then along comes somebody with experimental treatment that's supposed to help his body. And, it's supposed to make his white blood cells start to absorb energy so that they can better fight off disease and make him healthier. Something goes horribly wrong. We don't quite know what yet. This is going to get figured out as part of the mystery unfolds through the series. But at the end of it, he wakes up months later in this heavily protected room, and he's got this all new body just rippling with energy that he doesn't know how to control or what to do with. And so, the government's like, hey, you have a choice. Either we can keep you locked up in here for everybody's safety, or you can train with us and learn how to use this power and maybe be a real hero. And so now we've got like a street level making a difference in kids' lives type of hero who's now on this grand scheme in a world full of superheroes like Hotshot and Vigilance, and figuring out how to use these powers, how to control it. Who is he going to be in this world? It's so interesting. And, and like you can see, like just from his costume, like he goes at this straight, like with his face exposed and stuff. But he's always been out on the street making a difference. This isn't the kind of guy who's going to hide his face. Is that going to come back to bite him later in the butt? Could be, like it's really interesting story. And it's a really interesting character. And I love the getting to watch him figure all this stuff out as it goes. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to get to be a part of. And for anybody who has been exposed to this story before that might have bought the first couple of issues years ago, this is not the same first issue. This isn't the same first issue with a little bit of polish or a little bit of different lettering. Like we went back to the bones and started from the ground up. I re-illustrated the entire thing. Didn't even look at the first time around issue because I didn't want it. I wanted this to be a whole new vision. And I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of all the cool little things that I got to add into this mythos. I mean, Tony created this awesome character of Kevin Terry, but, I got to add in little things like, what does his body look like when the energy's rippling through it and burning his clothes off and stuff as he's using his powers and like all this awesome stuff. And, just in little things that we talked about as we were going and like, his hair, what it looks like after he's been in a coma for all this time and all these little things that we got to do. I'm really, really proud of this project. I really am. Tony killed it with the story, and I'm really proud of what I brought to the art and the storytelling through that aspect. Cool. And this is something that I hands down put my stamp on and I'm proud of. You can tell how hard I've been pitching it on TikTok and stuff. I'm proud of it if I'm pitching it that hard.
Yeah, he's been pitching it hard, and just to kind of, I'll let Chuck, if you got any questions, you can do that.
Well, to me, the one thing, and it's just a quick observation, is it feels like almost a mixture of, not to dumb it down, but it feels like almost a mixture of Superman and Luke Cage.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Kind of. I mean, he's definitely
dude, I
got
think
some
that
of that.
sounds.
He's got
See,
some of that street levelness of Luke Cage and stuff to him,
Yeah.
and caring about the
That's what I
community.
like about
Yeah.
that. The way you described it is having a street level Superman, like all the Supermen. You know what I mean? Like all the kind of iterations of those. They're these kind of cosmic, huge, strong guys who end up fighting off all this huge stuff. But to have one of those that's more of a street level dude, I really
I
like
only
that
put
idea.
my cape on when the whole world's in danger. You know, if the galaxy
Right.
ain't at stake, I ain't putting the tights
Much
on.
love.
Yeah, this ain't that dude. This is a dude
Yeah.
that loves
He's
his
fighting for
community and cares
everybody.
about it.
And the fact, I mean, he is part. So, like Fish was saying, he is part of this bigger universe. And if people aren't familiar with the other characters that he mentioned, Hotshot, Vigilance, there are other characters that Michael Watson has put out. Hotshot's got 11 issues now. Vigilance has got what, 3? I want to say
3 or 4. I
3
can't
or 4.
remember.
And there's other titles in there, so he's already created this universe, and you can go check those books out. But 5 Star now is the rookie hero in this universe, and as a writer, I feel like I'm the rookie in this world of comics. So just as he's trying to find his world in this, his place in this world, the same as me trying to find my place in this world. How do you make your stamp? Your stamp? How do you make your mark? Fish mentioned he doesn't wear a mask. So what's that lead to? He's got people wanting to take selfies with him. Eventually, he's got celebrities wanting to invite him to parties. How does he deal with that fortune and fame and still stick to his moral code? Because like Fish was saying, he is someone who is an unsung hero before he even gets powers. He's actually based off of 2 people in my life that are real people, Kevin Aldridge, Terry Shores. That's where you get the name Kevin Terry. Both of them work in the community. They're both mentors of mine. They're both people who help the youth daily. They're pushing for a neighborhood that the rest of the world has forgotten. Nobody cares about this neighborhood. This is the slums to the area, the outside areas. They went to college. They got degrees. They could have went anywhere and got jobs, but they came back to their city because they knew it was broken and they wanted to make a difference in their city. And they work hard every day to do that, even though they get pushback. Not everybody's always grateful for the help that they're given, but they stick in and day out. And that's the kind of character that I wanted to represent with Kevin Terry outside of the suit. So Kevin Terry is a man who is going to be there for the community. He's fighting for those kids. Now he gets superpowers. Now this little bit of fame and stuff's coming up. So how does he stick to his moral compass and the person that he was before and not get caught up in all this other stuff? So that's where the story is going to be taking us.
Tony, that's beautiful. Like, and what I love about that is that because it's coming from such a real source, that it can only be good for the book. You know what I mean? Because you have real things and real people to draw from. I love that idea. That's amazing. And I'm so glad that you have that in your life too, that kind of an influence, because I think that's something that we all could use a little bit more of in our lives. So yeah, dude, that's amazing. I love hearing that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And like I said, it's just somebody that I wanted. It's the type of person that I don't feel like is represented enough in mainstream comics, and that's why I chose to go that direction with Kevin Terry. So I appreciate it. And we had those guys on the 5 Star Fridays last Friday, if you want to go back and check that episode out. And they was giving us their input on just how it meant for them to have a character that represents them. So it was exciting, man, and I'm excited to see where we start, where the journey goes. Like Fish said, yes, 5 Star originally came out before with issue 1, 2, and 3. But we had a unique opportunity. There was a whole almost year and a half where nothing 5 Star came out. I went on with Short Fuse. That didn't work out. Now I'm on with FSK. Before we released issue 4, I said, Mike, we have a really unique opportunity to just start fresh with issue 1 and make it make sense of why it's in the FSK universe and redo it with Fish Lee art. And, Mike at first was like, are you sure? Because a lot of us indie guys, we just want to put out books.
Yeah.
We just want to put out books.
Having 4 books out sounds a lot better than going back and starting over on issue 1. But I respect the decision he made in that, because this lets us really make it a part of FSK's universe, and not just, oh, we changed the lettering here to mention Hot Shot in the background, but like, like there's all kinds. I don't want to ruin it, but there's all kinds of
Easter
places
eggs.
where you just see that they exist in the same world, and when you're in like government headquarters, like you see the results of these people are existing in this world, and they're watching what's going on.
And it's not overbearing. It's not an overbearing,
no.
like we're just going ahead and making them. We wanted it to feel authentic. We wanted the readers to be like, okay, this makes sense. Okay, this is something that I can look forward to. And so it was a decision that it was a no-brainer for me, really. I was like, I'm willing to take the risk. Let's just do this relaunch. And I want something that I can have in my hands that I'm proud of, because issue 1, we know at cons, people want to buy issue 1. And when they get their hands on the issue 1, I want them to love issue 1, everything about issue 1. So I'm like, let's get my boy Fish Lee on that art. He killed it on issue 3. Let's get him to redo issue 1 and 2, make it all, look like it goes together. And I think what we got is a pretty good outcome, and I'm excited for people to get it in their hands.
Oh, that's man, really... I'm so excited. I cannot wait to hold this in my hands, man.
So this is... you have a really cool opportunity. Is there any moments for you in any of the other comics in the FSK universe where you're like, ooh, I really want to reference that in one of my stories?
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure. There's a, like I said, Hot Shot's already 11 issues in, which is huge for an indie creator,
Yeah.
And the fact that they have 3 other titles that are connected to this universe as well that's out. So there's definitely stuff that we're referencing. There's books that are already out now in FSK that are coming out that are going to mention 5-star in them. So it's like we're slowly building up. There's been some crossovers that with Hot Shot and Vigilance, but you're not going to see a full-on crossover with all these characters yet, because we're slowly building to something more. If you pull up that picture or my screen one more time, I'll show off this cover, and I want to show something real quick to the people watching.
Yeah, sorry, let me... bam.
All right, so if you see here, first of all, let's just take a second to look at this beautiful cover.
I love that cover, dude. I love that cover.
That my
it's
dude
so
did.
uniquely Black America. I love it.
Yeah, and that was that was something that we wanted to capture. I was telling Fish I would love to get a barbershop cover with 5-star, and he knows that I go to the barber twice a month. I love being at the barbershop. I just love the community. I love the relationship I have with my barber. And I can remember being a kid, and my friend, his dad would take me to the barbershop early with him. And I'd go in there, and it was just so much love there. It was like, hey, what's up, big man? They knew me every time I came in. I just loved the environment. You had people that hung out there every day throughout the day. It was like its own little family, and I loved that. And I wanted to capture that in this cover, and Fish Lee just killed it like he always does. The barber is actually one of my good friends who was the first one to put 5-star in a store.
Oh, wow.
He owns his own barbershop, and he said, hey, man, let me put your book in here. So it was cool because he would send me pictures of the kids reading 5-star 1 while they were waiting to get their haircut. And he put me in the back there reading 5-star. And
I love it. I love the whole, seeing you in there was awesome.
If you look here on the comic in the corner here, you'll see that this is issue 1 of 5-star. That secondary number, that verse 24, it is the 24th book in the FSK universe. And if you was going to take the whole series, every book in the with the publisher and read it in order, that's the order you would read it in. It is the 24th book to read in FSK if you're trying to start your journey from the very beginning and read through and see how eventually it all connects.
And that's really clever, because it's like tracks on an album. Like, you can enjoy each track by itself, but when you see the whole album together and the way it was intended to be enjoyed, then you can see how one story leads into the next, and how they play off of each other. And I'm giving myself goosebumps talking about it.
Right.
I love that. Absolutely love it.
Well, you know what? Okay, so getting off the topic a little bit, because that was a really interesting thing that you said there, Fish. Are you guys both like fans of music?
Yeah.
So would you say that because we're so much more into a like mind where people are buying singles, and they're just buying the tracks singularly and not albums as much. Do you think that we're starting to move away from having the opus album where everything kind of connects and works well together?
Like a whole concept album thing.
Well, I mean, the concept album is the obvious, but even just one where like all the different music, all the different songs seem to kind of work together as like a theme, or just they kind of gel together from one song to the next. Do you think we're missing out on that because of kind of the modern distribution of music?
Yeah,
I mean, I think so for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. And now, like, more thought is going into what's going to sell a song, what's going to sell each separate song individually, what's going to make it catchy, what's going to get radio play, and less about me telling a story through these songs, or this was my journey over the last year, or this is me coming to terms with growing up, or whatever it was about. Like I love personally, like one of my favorite albums to just listen all the way through is Crash Test Dummies, with the all that came out. But like when you listen to that the whole way through, like you see this dude coming to terms with the idea of getting old, and like it's about getting to that point in life where everything's changing, but you don't really get that until you listen to them all together and see like this dude's really struggling with growing up and getting older and like losing his hair and going to the doctors and all, everything that's ahead of him being different than what was behind me. And, but I love that, but I didn't see that when I'm just listening to like, one hit song that comes on the radio, and I think we're missing that today.
That's so cool that you mentioned that album. They're a great Canadian band, so that doesn't get a lot of mention. So I love that.
Listen to something from them like nearly every day, but I listen to a lot of repetitive music over and over.
Does that help you with the art?
Oh yeah, having
more repetitive music.
Having songs that I love playing is really helpful to keeping me in the zone. And like I will listen to my liked songs on Spotify over and over again every day, and it's about 170 songs maybe. And there's a whole lot of like Crash Test Dummies and Bare Naked Ladies and They Might Be Giants and Dead Milkmen and like lots of weird stuff, and some Motown and some country and all kinds of weird things mixed together. But I will listen to those songs over and over and over again, cartoon theme songs and other stuff. And I will listen to it over and over every day while I'm working and never get tired of it.
So I gotta believe, because I love the eclectic nature of your picks, but I gotta believe, Tony, that your playlist is much different. What do you listen to when you're writing?
Man, I'm a variety kind of guy. Really, it's gonna sound funny, but my favorite thing to listen to is Temptations, man.
Really?
Yeah. I love Temptations. I love that. To me, Temptations are like number one on my list, bro. I just love listening to anything Temptations. I don't know what it is, but that's
for me, it's the Spinners. Man, I can listen to the Spinners all day long, man. Oh, I just love them.
It's full of, every song is full of so much feeling and love, or you kind of get right away off the song like what they're feeling in the song. What they're trying to do in the song, and I don't know, it just makes me attach emotionally to the song, and then hopefully show some emotion through writing. So
that's beautiful.
That's what
I love that. Wendy says she loves that you include the reading order on the cover. With too many franchises, you have to research that info. So yeah, people are loving that already.
Yeah, that's a Michael Watson special right there. I won't take any credit for that.
Oh yeah, it was a really clever idea.
No, that's brilliant. I listen to music near constantly while riding or driving to work and thinking about story concepts and such. Huge well of inspiration. Same here, man. I found recently I was having such a hard time writing, and then the other day I started listening to some music and I was like, oh fuck, I could feel it in me. And I sat down and I, for the first time in a long time, turned my Pandora on. And I was like, this is what I was missing, you fucking moron. It was this music. Why were you not listening to your music? And as soon as I turned it on, I just like it just came out in fucking droves, and I'm like, holy fuck!
And that's the thing to me, like I get caught up overthinking things when it's just me and like my brain's trying too hard. Like, okay, write something, but there's so much in the world and which piece. But when I'm listening to music and it kind of uses up some of that bandwidth, it frees like my lower brain to just kind of chill and think and flow and make connections and be like, you know what, this is a really fun part and this is a really cool aspect, and if we put those together, then that could take us down this track. And it just really frees it up when I eat up a little bit of that bandwidth of my brain with music that I enjoy, and especially stuff that I really know well. So I'm like bopping and humming and singing along, and next thing I know, I'm just knocking out pages.
That's the way.
I might switch it up a little bit. I mean, you know, I will listen to some '90s rap every now and then, but mainly it's that Motown stuff is what gets me. So,
yeah, Tribe Called Quest, Nirvana. That's right there. That's a nice little eclectic jumble. I like that a lot. Though that is also very much a '90s thing.
Oh yeah.
What kind of music or groups does Kevin Terry listen to?
Oh, okay. Hey, you know what? I haven't thought about that one. I haven't thought about the music that he listens to.
He stopped loving her today.
I would have to go with probably.
They're hungry.
I have to go with that with the '90s rap, '90s R&B. That's what I have to go with.
Yeah.
Throw some Temptations in kind of there too, just because the representation of me a little bit. But yeah, that's a good question, man. I like that. Maybe I'll think more into that.
Right, dude, that's awesome. And you got a good voice over there, Fish.
There you go.
You got some pipes, homie. You got some pipes.
Man, I'm scheduled to do a show on one dude's birthday, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take some singing lessons just so I can sing you happy birthday on your birthday.
That's good. I like that you did that. Wendy says Tool works for me, babe. I totally agree with you there. In fact, when we were talking about albums being curated as albums, I felt like the last one that I really saw was the last Tool album. Felt like it was very much curated as an album, and that's just kind of how they work. Epic Battle Music, found a 2.5 hour long compilation of battle music on YouTube. Been listening to that a lot lately. That's cool. I need to usually listen to things I've already enjoyed. Yeah.
I listen to some funny nonsense. Like a lot of the bad lip syncing songs from YouTube are on my Spotify playlist. And I freaking love them. I sing them over and over and over again.
That's great. 32. How old is Kevin? How old? Oh, he's 32. How old was he in the 90s? A great editor had me think about these things for my main character.
Yep. 32.
So he was probably he was a kid in the 90s.
Yeah. He grew up in the 90s. He would have been let's see, he would have been born in 88. So
yeah,
he definitely grew up in the 90s.
I can't listen to stuff I like the lyrics to. I find myself singing instead of writing.
Yeah,
I actually have to listen to stuff with lyrics.
I am just caterwauling and drawing and having a big old time. Don't slow me down one bit. I will get every word wrong sometimes too, and I don't care. I'll just keep going.
I've had lyrics sink into what I was writing, so it worked so well at that exact precise second as I was writing something that I'm like, just gonna slip that little bit of a lyric in there.
Yeah, I actually get a lot of writing done too. It's kind of strange. Get a lot of writing done. Oh. Am I good?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I get a lot of writing done while I'm a passenger in the car on my phone. I don't know what it is about that, but with everything going on.
I keep that notes app going on my phone because I will just get ideas out of nowhere. Or like we'll be watching TV or the news or like telling life stories with people when we're hanging out or something. And I'm like, ooh, how would that story be if that happened in my world? Because now it takes on a whole different avenue. And like, oh, if the cops did that police stop, but that was in Green Zone and that was Virgil that they pulled over, like now it becomes a whole different thing. And, all of this stuff spurs ideas. So I've got notes after random notes in there, enough for 1,000 issues.
By the way, seeing all of those FSK characters as the little Lego characters
Oh yeah. Fish.
was fucking. That was dude. That was brilliant because it was like we see the chibis all the time. Sometimes they feel overdone, but people are still loving them. And then you brought these in, and I was like, oh, that's unique. I fucking love that idea. And they were.
Oh, that's all thanks to Tony too, because like his uncle, it was your uncle, right? Had
my
paid
uncle,
for like a custom cover on 5-Star 3 with like a Lego version of, or a block figure version of 5-Star. And it was so cool. And like, everybody loved that issue. And then once Mike saw it, Mike's like, oh, wait a minute. You still have that art? Hey, what would it take to get you do one of all these characters? And, so then we did one of everybody and got like Spider Squirrel and Marky from Emerald Quest. And then you got to do one of Virgil from Green Zone. And of course, he had to be bigger because he's like 8 feet tall. So I kind of based him off of the Hulk figure. And now, like, me and Charlie may or may not have been talking with somebody about getting actual figures made of like Trash Panda and Virgil. And because it's just too cool. Like, now that I've seen it, also, like, I want to have one over here on my desk that I can look at. He's so cute.
It's funny. I knew about 5-Star because Chris Tomasma, who I work with, has been a huge 5-Star. He's been trumpeting 5-Star forever.
That's my dude. Chris is my dude for sure.
He's a good
he's
dude.
Always he's a heck of a dude. I actually, and I don't know exactly what he's doing. I have a character that I made for my daughter, and every so often he's like, "Hey, you do anything with her, man? I'd like to use her in my book. Hey, you do anything with her? I'd like to use her in my book." And this last time he asked me, I said, "You know what? Go ahead, man. Whatever you want to do with her." So. Maybe that'll be coming in as one of his books, maybe not. But Chris is one heck of a dude, man. He's a good fan.
Who's the character? Because because I edit a lot of his stuff. So
her name's Brisk. I don't know if he's used her yet or not. He probably not. I know he's world building right now, but he's always asking me about her. She's cool. So cute. I want to use her. So I'm like, go ahead, man. I don't know when I'm going to get around to it. So
right. Oh, that's cute. I love that. That's so great. Yeah, and he is a solid dude. I love working with that guy. We have a lot of fun together.
Yeah.
So okay, dude, we're already over an hour. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about as we start to wind her down?
I mean, if I can, I'd like to show off one more piece of the Kickstarter. You're okay with that?
Let's do it. Yeah, of course, man.
Especially just because we were talking about things going together, and I think this really goes to that effect. So this here is a connecting cover that Michael Watson did. If you see here, this little picture here, it all goes together.
5 separate issues that are coming out this year.
So each Kickstarter that comes out, starting with 5-Star, there is a connecting cover that comes out. And each Kickstarter, you can get the next issue that connects and makes this 5-cover layout that all connects together. Michael Watson killed the art with this, and you can see 5 Stars 1, Spider Squirrel, Vigilance, Green Zone's going to have its own, and Hot Shot. All these books come together to make one.
That's ridiculous.
Piece. And you're going to have to check out each one of the Kickstarters to get that issue, because for now, that's where you can get it. So you're only getting the 5-Star issue right now on the 5-Star Kickstarter. You're only getting the Spider Squirrel one on Charlie's next Kickstarter, and Green Zone and Hot Shot. And you've got to show up or you're going to miss them. You don't want to miss the Vigilance issue, and then you don't have the whole thing. Right. So I'm super excited about it.
So you're telling us to stay vigilant?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Stay vigilant on that. Yep. And, again, just if you can, check out the Kickstarter, fskgo.com. We have a lot of stuff to offer, just kind of showing off just a little bit of the stuff here.
Can you refresh it? What are we at?
Let me see. we're at the 100 backers at 3,061. So we hit that goal
So
that we.
yeah, but
Mhm.
refresh the page because I think it might have changed.
I just did, and it's at the same,
It
or at
is
least,
still okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. No,
because I'm
still that's
constantly
great,
checking it too.
right?
But yeah, you can. We got this nice little bomber jacket right here for 5-star. You can
Shit.
get.
That's nice.
Make you put that on and feel like you're 5-star. But
Are you gonna get
um,
yourself one?
oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah, right.
There's all these different tiers that you can back
colors.
it, all the different covers and stuff, and then you start getting like spots on Chat and Draw and get a character drawn by Mike Watson, getting to come on 5-star and get a character drawn by me, which will
Yep.
probably be live on the show, getting a 5-character pinup done by me, all the way down to like getting a custom one of a kind cover drawn of whatever you want on your own personal single one of a kind issue of 5-star, and guest
Try to
spots and the whole
offer.
9 yards, man. There's so much cool stuff that you get to back on this.
Wow.
Something for
So
everyone. That Lego
that's
block
not
cover. Go
that's
ahead.
not just a blank sketch cover. That's actually like a real printed cover.
Yeah, real printed
Yeah.
cover. Yep.
Whoa, that's
Yep.
huge.
Yep.
And then, of course, you'll have the artwork too that you could do whatever. I mean, within reason, like it's going to probably have 5-star on it, but
Yeah.
you get your pin up and stuff too, along with having like a real printed copy of
Yep.
That's
with
cool.
your artwork on it. It was something Tony did on the last one that was really cool. And I've done some crazy stuff, like giant jack-o'-lantern monsters, getting dude's plumbing
Yeah.
truck ripped up in the ground with the logo all over the side of the truck, and like it's some nut stuff, but it was fun, man. It was
Yeah,
fun.
it's funny because both those covers were my uncle. Both of my uncles wanted these covers, very supportive of what I do, and the mini block cover did so well, and I reached out to my uncle and said, "Hey, this cover, man, people are really," and he was like, "If it helps you, go ahead and make more of them." He's like, "I want you to do what you have to do." So he was generous enough to be like, "Go ahead and make that a regular cover if you want to." So
That was really awesome of him because, man, people have loved that cover. And now you can get it, or the barbershop, or the classic cover. I got to admit, I love the classic superhero cover of him holding this armored truck up, and
yeah,
it fits into the story.
boom,
Yeah.
But, it's that classic superhero vibe. He's got the energy rippling off of him. He looks awesome. His muscles are popping. And, but I get the barbershop cover is cool too. And I can't give it away because it's going to break my heart if I do. But like it plays into the story if you
Oh,
get that. And, I just,
yep,
it's
there's
cool.
a little part in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to do everything intentional. With the suit, even I know we're coming down, we're getting close on the time, but the suit is a classic '90s feeling cartoon. I grew up my intro into comics, being born in 1990, was mainly the cartoons. That's how I started. I watched the cartoons before I even got into picking up a comic book and reading them, and I wanted 5-star to feel like that Saturday morning cartoon. And with the suit, it all makes sense because people like to, they like to somebody mentioned the shoes, like, oh, them are cool shoes. They got the little cuffs on them. Those cuffs actually help him not take in too much energy at one time. So that's why they're there. It is stylish, but at the same time, it's there for a reason. He's got cuffs on his wrists and cuffs on his ankles that just help him kind of monitor his own energy. The suit that he wears is because it's material that doesn't burn off. There's panels in the book of him actually using his powers when he's not having full control and he's burning his clothes right off of his body. So we tried to make everything make sense with the suit.
they really were. Yeah,
sure.
cartoons
The
are
best.
awesome. It's so funny. I
Yes.
love that people, there's been this kind of lamentation over the loss of Saturday morning cartoons, and I'm like, yeah, but cartoons are everywhere now. Like you literally
Yeah,
can
yeah,
watch
yeah.
And we
cartoons
have so
at
much better
any time of the
quality
day.
cartoons.
So
And
fine, you
geared
don't have
towards
this one
adults
point of
and
the
better
day,
stories, and
Right.
not just trying to sell like cereal and toys on Saturday morning, not withheld by all the rules of having to be educational. Like, and and I'm not against educational by any means, but like when you're handcuffed so hard with how you can tell a story, that stinks.
Yeah.
And I miss Saturday morning cartoons. I miss getting up with that bowl of cereal and watching it. But if I can chill and watch them on Hulu or whatever, I'll watch them then too. And
kids nowadays got it lucky; they don't gotta wait till Saturday morning to watch.
Right?
Absolutely.
I remember my kids are so used to watching streaming services that when they went over to my grandma's house and was watching regular cable, they were like, "What are these ads? Why are these ads so long?" I'm like, "Those are commercials, kids. Those are commercials."
Yeah, my kids pretty much grew up with satellite where we could like record everything and skip the commercials. And once we went back to having an antenna now, like, I just can't. I just can't even. It takes too long.
Well, I love. I mean, I've cut the cord completely. I'm just all streaming now. So
yeah, same here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, dude, badass guys. You've got a really cool book here. You guys are doing some absolutely amazing work. It looks really cool. I'm so glad you guys came on. Do you guys have any final stuff you want to say before we call it an evening?
I just want to thank you for having us. For one,
absolutely, man.
We definitely want to. Anytime you want to jump on 5 Star Fridays, just let us know, man. We'll get you on there. Anything, if you're promoting something, or if you just want to come in and chat, or if you just want to hang out, just let me know. We'll get you on again. It's always. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I'd absolutely love that. I would be all about that. We're hoping to have Belial out sometime in probably towards May or so. So that'd be really cool. But also, I'd love to come on. We can talk about Green Zone. So I'd be all about that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. We're gonna plan some shows just dedicated to Green Zone when it's making its time around. So we'll definitely get you on with that. Awesome. Again, man, I love the community that we're creating with these podcast shows. We know that it's like as the people who are doing the podcast, we know that okay, I got a Kickstarter coming up. I can know this show that I can reach out to, and it's almost like we're our own little network now of podcast. Even though this is my first time being on this one, I'm super excited, man, to finally be able to talk to you, man, and chop it up. It's like
be able to talk back instead of just yelling at the screen. Be like,
well, we were at two. I think we've been on 1 or 2 panels together, and both times it was like there was no way to kind of communicate back and forth. And I was like, he's a cool dude. I love to hang out with him sometimes. So this works out well. And you guys are the same way as me, though. Don't you? You just do 1 a week, right?
1 a week, yeah. Mm-hmm. We couldn't handle probably doing more.
Yeah. Oh no, I totally agree. I
just trying to keep it organized is tough enough. Right. Like we need like a producer. Like I wish we had a producer that could do this stuff for us and like contact people and make sure that they're up to date. Because like you contact somebody and you're like, hey, you're going to be on the show on the 26th, right? Oh yeah, no problem. And then you hit them up soon, close to the show, like, all right, the show's on Friday. Like, oh, dude, I'm out of town. I forgot. Like, like, dude, come on. That's what the calendar's for. That's why we said
right.
It can be hard.
It's so true. I've tried like every day, every week. There's always a new guest. Like I was always trying to not do the same person over again. And I had a guy come to me recently. He's like, hey man, and he's been on the show, great dude. And he goes, I'd love to if I can get 5 spots. And I was like, just so we do the math here, I do 50 shows a year, which means you're taking 10% of my episodes. And he's like,
right.
Oh shit. I was like, look, I can get you in once. I can absolutely do that because I love chatting with you, and I'm down to have you on again. Right. I'm totally good with that. But I just like, unless it's a panel show, I can't pull it off. And he's like, no, that's cool. Like I get it. Once you drop the math, they're cool. But yeah, it's like that's kind of the hindrance for me of doing. There's so many amazing creators out there.
Yeah.
So only doing
some
50
people
shows
are doing
sounds like a lot,
kinds of shows. But some people are doing just boom, 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 boom. Like I was reaching out ahead of time to schedule stuff for Green Zone, do that pre-build up before, April when the Kickstarter, because with FSK, we're doing short Kickstarters like Unlikely Hero Studios does. Lori saw that, there's always that lull in the middle. So she was like, let's just cut out the middle. And it's worked like gangbusters for them so far. So
Yeah.
we're applying that to us now. So that's why there's only 7 days left in the Kickstarter, because it's a short, like 2-week Kickstarter.
Right, 2 weeks. So it's technically just on the second week and of the two. So we're doing pretty good to be at $3,061 on our $4,000 goal in 1 week. We're
we're doing.
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, absolutely.
We're excited about that.
And so, we're learning a lot from other people in the community that have got experience and put out a bunch of books, and we're applying all that, and that's great. And that's the nice thing about fskgo.com is right now you click on FSKGo and it's going to take you directly to Tony's Kickstarter for 5-star. And then when that one's over and we get the page built for Charlie's Spider Squirrel, you can click it and it'll take you there, so you can hit, notify me on launch. It'll take you right there when his starts up. And then for Vigilance in March, and then for Green Zone, it'll be the same FSKGo.com. Nice and easy, nice and short. It's clever. I love it. I wish I could get gofish.com and do it myself, but I guarantee you it's taken already.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that one's gone. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sweet. Guys, thank you so much. It was really good having both you on.
Yeah, for sure, man. Blast.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks, man.
Shit, I don't even know who's on next week. Oh, I believe I have Christy Shin on next week. So we're going to see some Demon Bitch. We're going to go from this straight to Demon Bitch next week. So it's going to be fun, folks. You always got to keep them guessing what's going to happen next. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much,
guys.
Mike.
Hey, everybody who tuned in, we deeply appreciate the people that hopped on and backed. We definitely appreciate that. If you watch, you can go on there and sharing. Sharing is caring. And we a lot of you guys, hung in the whole show. So we definitely appreciate that.
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
no, you guys kept the crowd up, man. Good job. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you guys being out here tonight, hanging out, seeing you every week, regardless. Like, it's great. And you too, honestly, very excited for the Kickstarter, for the book, everything. Yeah, really, like, you guys really, honestly, I'm excited about it. Like, I didn't know an awful lot, and now I'm leaving going, okay, cool, yeah, I'd totally grab this. Like, that's a really sick book. So yeah, very excited. I think you guys are doing terrific stuff. And you know what, man? We're going to do this again next week. So thank you guys so much. Stay safe out there. And of course, you know what I always say. My name is Chuck, and I give a fuck. Take care.
See.